So hello everyone and welcome to Me and You Acres. My name is Angie if you're new here. I wanted to show you guys a tip and trick that I have to germinating peppers. But it can not only be used for peppers, it can be used for pretty much any other seeds. I do this for my tomatoes, anything that doesn't need to be direct sown. I use this method quite often and it works really well for me, so I thought I'd share my tip with you. This video will be a little bit different. I'm recording everything on my phone and my laptop that has our editing software on it. The laptop's fine, but the cord went kaput, and so we have to wait for a new one in the mail. The method I'm going to show you today is called the paper towel method, and basically it's super simple. So you get some paper towel, you wet it. You don't need to soak it, but you want to make sure there's enough moisture in there that you want to wake up your seeds. And I'm going to bring my camera down here. This video is not going to have any fancy transitions or anything like that. It's just going to be raw. So, not all of the seeds have, oh, now I got to hold my camera. Not all of the seeds have woken up, but as you can see here, it's starting to sprout. Hopefully that's focused. I can't tell because the sun is right in my eyes. And so not all the seeds are woken up in here, but quite a few of them are. So we're going to go ahead and plant the ones that already are and let the other ones that are trying to wake up. Now, a couple things that I do. There we go. Okay, so a couple things that I do when I go to plant, whether it's using this method or just planting seeds. First of all, if I'm doing all my own seeds, I usually do quite a bit. I've been doing seeds for a couple years now, and this thing here I bought at Costco. It was $16.99. You can make your own if you want, but this was $16.99, and this will do more than enough for all of the seeds that I have. Or this is more than enough for all the seeds that I have. So for 17 bucks, that baby was mine. And then what I like to do is get my soil in the bag, just to show you guys the difference. In the bag, it's still quite dry. You need to moisten your soil. So that way when you go to water your seedlings or your seeds that you're just planting, the water doesn't hover and sit on top and take forever to go down. If you pre-moisten your soil, the water just goes all the way through and it leaves less room for, you know, like disease or mold or anything like that. So I always pre-moisten my soil. One thing I did learn a couple years ago was that I didn't do that, and I had a bunch of other stuff grow in its place of what I was trying to plant. So I always moisten my soil with some boiling water. I've already gone ahead and done that, so I am not going to bore you with that. But basically what you want to do is you want to get your soil wet enough where you can clamp it in a ball, but it still falls apart. Okay, so if I were to take some right out of the bag here, it's not really clamping in a ball. It's just all falling apart. So, get your soil moist enough so that it does that. It's still nice and fluffy. It's not sticking all together in the bowl. And then fill your pots. Pretty simple here. I'll show you how I do mine. Now, is that going to fall? Ugh, come on now. There we go. Okay. So, I like to pack mine, press down a little bit. You don't want it too firm, but you do want it to hold its shape. You want the roots to be able to grow, so you don't want to like pack it and pack it and pack it. So that's all I do. And I'm so excited to get my hands in the dirt again. Now, I know it's a little late to be starting peppers, but not for me in my area. I'm in zone 4, So depending on what your area is when you're going to start your peppers. I can't put anything, or I shouldn't put anything in the ground until probably after the first week of June, but I like to put it in around the middle of June, give or take a few days either way. This year, though, has been unseasonably beautiful and warm, so I don't know what the future holds for these bad boys. Maybe they'll go in the ground sooner. We got to go through black fly season first, though. All right. Get that out of the way. All right. Whoops, and now you're going to topple over, aren't you? Okay, so hopefully you guys can see. Something else that I do is I reuse my, first of all, my pots. If you're reusing your pots, make sure you wash them in soapy water and some bleach. That way anything that, if there's any diseases in your plants last year or anything like that, it won't carry over to this year. And I also reuse my plastic tags. I use permanent markers, so a trick that I've done is to get these clean. You can scrub them with soap and water, but that's not really going to do much. I take a little bit of lemon essential oil, and it usually comes off pretty good. So the peppers that I'm planting now are going to be King of the North. And I started this, I put it in March 28th, in and around there. I'll go ahead and do that. And I can see we got 1, 2. You want to be really careful too, because the seeds can stick to the paper towel. So when you are pulling them off, make sure they're not stuck to the paper towel. Now that's all that I can see with little tails. Trying to see, oh, this one will be starting soon. This one I can see it's trying to germinate. And this one here. So I'm still going to leave these in its paper towel. You want to leave your paper towel, if you're going to do this method, you want to leave them in an area that is nice and warm. So for me, I left it on my warming oven on the very top shelf. For you, a nice place to leave it would be on top of your fridge in a dark place. So important thing when you're going, if you have a seed that's already started, okay, I'm just going to make a tiny little hole, and I want the seed facing upwards. So I want the white part, the white little root there, facing down, because the seed is what tries to come up through the soil and break off and create a plant. Go. Oh, I guess I have 2 there. There we go. I'm going to use this. Now, something else that I also learned by doing this is that, I learned this the hard way this year again. One of my peppers, so I would check on the peppers quite often, but one of them decided that they were going to just like go crazy in the paper towel. And of course it was the one that I wanted the most, the Jimmy Nardello pepper. And it started to actually grow its leaves. So thankfully it was okay. For the most part, the seeds were But they can, when they start to root out even more than the pepper I showed you that I planted, when they start to root out even more than that, they start to get stuck inside the paper towel even more. So I think I have one that I can give you an example, because 2 of my peppers went crazy really, really quick with a great germination. Which one was it? Where'd you go? Was it this one? Oh yes, it was this one. So this one I'm going to have to be extra careful with, but it's still doable. All right. Did I just lose one? Oh wow, these went crazy. So these have to be put into the soil like yesterday. When I do them, typically what I just showed you when I was planting, that's when the stage I like to do them, or maybe an extra day or more than that. But I don't like leaving them until they are growing the greens. But if it does happen, just be extra, extra careful when you are pulling all the seedlings that it doesn't get stuck in the paper towel. And then all from here, we're just going to go ahead and water the seeds. You like my old antique mason jar? Now see how the water, oh maybe not, I'll pour this one. See how the water goes right in? I'm going to show you what it looks like without a pre-moistened soil. Hopefully it does it, because this soil is quite moist, but see, it just sits on top. So that's the difference it makes. I mean, eventually it'll go down, but if you have pre-moistened soil, we'll do this. It just goes right in. Whew, okay. All right, guys, that is what I wanted to show you. You can go ahead and try this with different seeds that you wish. The only ones that I don't really do them with, I think I said this already, but I'm not sure. The only ones I don't like doing this method, the paper towel method with, is seeds that get direct sown. So things like beans, peas, salad, lettuce, things like that. Things that can go right into the ground. I don't bother with the paper towel method, but when peppers, which are finicky and they love the warmth, I definitely prefer this method. With my tomatoes, I do this. Anything that's not direct sown, this gets done. Paper towel method. Reason being, I remember last year or the year before, I kept hoping that some of the peppers I had planted, some were paper towel method and some weren't. Some of them never even came up. A whole group of my, I think it was jalapeno peppers, never sprouted, but I kept hoping that they would. And so I had a whole bunch of wasted time filling all these containers and nothing came from it. I also like to do the paper towel method is because you can see which ones have sprouted, and it's like just put it in the ground and you know it'll grow kind of thing. So sorry that this video didn't have any fancy transitions, and I hope you guys grow something from seed this year. If you do have any questions, I'm not an expert, but I can let you know what I do with certain plants, and I look forward to talking to you guys real soon. Take care, God bless, and as always, until next time. I think I got that backwards, but that's okay. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.